Hi, everyone. Welcome again to a spontaneous Course in Miracles workbook lesson, popping in here and there during this year of workbook lessons. And today we are up to workbook lesson 32 from A Course in Miracles. I have invented the world I see. Today, we are continuing to develop the theme of cause and effect. You are not the victim of the world you see because you invented it. You can give it up as easily as you made it up. You will see it or not see it as you wish. While you want it, you will see it. When you no longer want it, it will not be there for you to see. Okay. When Jesus is telling us you invented it, he's saying the belief in the ego, with using the power of the mind, invented the world. Yeah, straight out. Not you as a person, but the ego belief invented it. And if you believe in the ego, then that's where this lesson is starting. I have invented the world I see. The idea for today, like the preceding ones, applies to your inner and outer worlds, which are actually the same. However, since you see them as different, the practice periods for today will again include two phases, one involving the world you see outside you, and the other world you see in your mind. In today's exercises, try to introduce the thought that both are in your own imagination. Again, we will begin the practice periods for the morning and evening by repeating the idea for today 2 or 3 times while looking around at the world you see as outside yourself. Then close your eyes and look around your inner world. Try to treat them both as equally possible. Repeat the idea for today unhurriedly, as often as you wish, as you watch the images your imagination presents to your awareness. For the 2 longer practice periods, 3 to 5 minutes are recommended, with not less than 3 required. More than 5 can be utilized if you find the exercise restful. To facilitate this, select a time when few distractions are anticipated and when you yourself feel reasonably ready. These exercises are also to be continued during the day as often as possible. The shorter applications consist of repeating the idea slowly as you survey either your inner or outer world. It does not matter which you choose. So sometime if you're involved in a busy day and you find yourself out and about, you may just want to take a pause and close your eyes, just repeat it. And sometimes as you're gazing out upon the world, to repeat the lesson of the day. I have invented the world I see. The idea for today should also be applied immediately to any situation that may distress you. Apply the idea by telling yourself, I have invented this situation as I see it. So what a great lesson. This one is extremely helpful at coming down to the core realization that the world is an invented world. It's a world of projection. It's a world of fiction. It's a world of fantasy. It was made and was not created. So this is coming closer to that idea that we've gone over, that God did not create a meaningless world, and that the thoughts of the ego, the attack thoughts, the private thoughts, the judgments, are producing a projected world of complete unreality. And this is the beginning of escaping from the world of fiction, of fantasy, of invention. In this world, it seems to be, invention can even seem to be a good thing. Some people have even throughout history been called inventors, and they have patents, and they have copyrights, and they have ownership of various ideas, and they can seem to prosper in a body, a personality sense from these inventions. And you might say the ego is attempting to just cover itself with these unreal thoughts and these unreal images. Like the song says, it's just my imagination running away with me, not running away with the real you, not running away with Christ. As God told us, in the Bible, have no images, have no idols and images before the Lord thy God. Well, these idols and images are the make-believe world, and that's what it meant. It wasn't just talking about, golden totem poles and things like that. It means anything in form that we identify with is an image made by the ego to take the place of spirit, of divine love, of oneness. So what a great lesson to apply with anything. And of course, as we get to the bottom of the lesson, Jesus says it should be applied immediately to any situation that may distress you. So as you go through the day, if there's something that comes up into awareness, either in what you perceive through the five senses, or even what you're thinking about, if you become irritated, annoyed, triggered, upset by anything, this is the time to apply the lesson of the day. And as you transfer this, sometimes with eyes closed, eyes open, to just anything that seems to disturb you, you can start to anchor in the idea that this is an invention. And there's really no need to get upset about an invention. The only way the mind can be upset is to believe in the reality of the invention. And the whole teachings of A Course in Miracles, all the way, even going back to the introduction, nothing real can be threatened, nothing unreal exists. Herein lies the peace of God. This is such a beautiful, practical lesson today that we're really applying towards anything that feels disturbing or upsetting. Nothing unreal exists. Inventions do not exist. God is real. Spiritual creation, spiritual reality is reality. That's why the word reality means true. God is spirit. Spirit is real. Spirit is true. Eternity is real. Eternity is true. Time is an invention. Personalities are inventions. Countries are inventions. Planets are inventions. Stars are inventions. You can start to just practice the idea, though, as you seem to move through the day and applying it to everything that you seem to see and do. You could even apply it to the words that you speak. You might be speaking to someone, and then you move on, and then you just kind of smile to yourself and go, these words are inventions too. Yeah, everything of this world is an invention. So I thought I would also do a bit of a reading from the text that really fits with today's idea, because if you talk to people and you ask them, what is it that you don't like about your life, or what is it that distresses you, what is it that upsets you, what is it that you wish were different, a lot of times people will describe the needs that they believe they have that are unmet, or the things that they want that they don't have. Jesus is convincing us, he's really working with our mind to convince us that everything that we want, we already have and are. And that's actually a teaching from a movie called I Heart Huckabees, where the Dustin Hoffman character says everything that you could ever want, you already have and are. So I thought I would read from chapter 1, section 6, because this goes with our lesson today. The lesson is, I have invented the world I see. And chapter 1, section 6 is the illusion of needs. Yeah, that's really another way of talking about the invention. Eternity is abundantly love, because love is all there is. So the perceptual world is, by definition, this linear perceptual world is a world of need. It's a world of lack. And thus, it is an illusion. It won't last forever. It's also very temporary. Seem to have a beginning, will seem to have an end, but not a reality ever. You who want peace can find it only by complete forgiveness. No learning is acquired by anyone unless he wants to learn it and believes in some way that he needs it. While lack does not exist in the creation of God, it is very apparent in what you have made. It is, in fact, the essential difference between them. Lack implies that you would be better off in a state somehow different from the one you are in. Until the, quote, separation, which is the meaning of the fall, nothing was lacking. There were no needs at all. Needs arise only when you deprive yourself. You act according to the particular order of needs that you establish. This, in turn, depends on your perception of what you are. So sometimes people talk about right action and wrong action, but it's more what's going on in your mind. That's the important thing. What thoughts are you holding on to in awareness? What are the thoughts that are crossing your consciousness? What you do comes from what you think. And you act according to the particular order of needs that you establish. So Jesus is telling us that consciousness is the domain of the ego, and consciousness inspires action. And basically, in consciousness, we're either receiving messages from above, we'll say the Holy Spirit, or below, the ego. But consciousness inspires actions. So if I'm thinking thoughts with the ego and I'm trying to think against my creator, against divine love, if I'm thinking judgmental thoughts, fiction thoughts, invented thoughts, private thoughts, judgments, if I'm invested in these private thoughts, then the world I perceive and the actions that will come from these private thoughts will all keep the mind in a state of sleep, unaware of the divinity, unaware of the oneness and the truth. A sense of separation from God is the only lack you really need correct. This sense of separation would never have arisen if you had not distorted your perception of truth and had thus perceived yourself as lacking. The idea of order of needs arose because, having made this fundamental error, you had already fragmented yourself into levels with different needs. As you integrate, you become one, and your needs become one accordingly. Unified needs leads to unified action because this produces a lack of conflict. So again, the actions, the behaviors are just effects that follow from what's happening with the thoughts. And if you question the belief in lack so thoroughly, and then you have a unified need, which is really just the need to know who I truly am and who God truly is, then that unified need lead to unified action. In other words, this is where the integrity of the mind comes in. Everything I think and say and do will follow from how I perceive myself. And if I perceive myself as a body or as a personality, then come along with that whole package of personality self, it is a package of lack. And, Abraham Maslow had a hierarchy of needs, his pyramid of the basic needs, and then, moving up security, and then needs going all the way up to self-actualization, which basically is know your actual self, know your divine self, your Christ self, in which the being needs, the need to be who you truly are finally is the final need. And with that, you have unified action because you have a unified need. You simply have to recognize that everything is to be pointed at, I need to know who I am. And that self-realization or self-actualization is the end of need, because Christ has no needs, but personalities do, persons do. The idea of orders of need, which follows from the original error that one can separate from God, requires correction at its own level before the error of perceiving levels at all can be corrected. You cannot behave effectively while you function on different levels. However, while you do, correction must be introduced vertically from the bottom up. This is because you think you live in space where concepts such as up and down are meaningful. Ultimately, space is as meaningless as time. Both are merely beliefs. So this is a very key paragraph for us, because that's how practical Jesus is. That's how practical the Holy Spirit is. They will induce correction from the bottom up. So you can't simply tell yourself who you are. You have to discover it, and you discover it by having all your beliefs in everything of this world, including time and space, the body, needs, even the belief in the end in interpersonal relationships, that is still a belief. And Jesus is asking us to question every value, every belief that we hold. But the correction will be from the bottom up. In other words, you cannot have a correction for believing that there are levels of need until you start to have experiences that your needs are met in every level, at the level of the physicality in the body, at the level of everything that you perceive in what seems to be your private or local universe. Those things will seem to be handled as you follow your purpose. And sometimes we call this divine providence, but Mary Baker Eddy from Christian Science said, God's love has met and will always meet every human need. And this is another example of the correction is from the bottom up. So you're not trying to affirm your way back, you're just trying to expose and release beliefs. And then when you have cleared the mind of these false beliefs, then you realize, I have but one need, and that is to know God. And even that one need to know God takes care of know thyself. Because when you know your creator, you also know yourself as the creation of a perfect God. And Christ is an idea in the mind of God. Christ is a perfectly divine idea. It's purely abstract. It's pure light. We're not talking about the symbol of Jesus or the symbols of the world. Those were just symbols or pointers or reflections of this divine love and light. So in the end, you don't have a personal relationship with God, or you don't have a personal relationships with Jesus. You have an I am experience. And that I am experience is like, you could say, I am as God created me. I am the Christ. I am as God created me. The real purpose of this world is to use it to correct your unbelief. You can never control the effects of fear yourself because you made fear and you believe in what you made. In attitude, then, though not in content, you resemble your Creator, who has perfect faith in his creations because he created them. Belief produces the acceptance of existence. That is why you can believe what no one else thinks is true. It is true for you because it was made by you. So it's like Pygmalion or self-fulfilling prophecy. If you believe in yourself as a person, then that person that you believe you are has reality for you. If you believe in the body, then bodies have reality. If you believe in time and space, then time and space has a reality for you. It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you believe it, you seem to bring it into existence. Seem to bring it into existence. It's only real to the distorted mind of the perceiver that believes in it. That's why Jesus teaches us nothing real can be threatened. Nothing unreal exists. Herein lies the peace of God. Nothing unreal exists. And yet, if you believe something, you try to give it, you impart existence onto something that doesn't exist. That's an invention. That's why our lesson for today is I have invented the world I see. And by inventing it, by projecting it, by bringing it into seeming existence, it seems real. And now all of that has to be undone. All aspects of fear are untrue because they do not exist at the creative level and therefore do not exist at all. To whatever extent you are willing to submit your beliefs to this test, to that extent are your perceptions corrected. In sorting out the false from the true, the miracle proceeds along these lines. Perfect love casts out fear. If fear exists, then there is not perfect love. But only perfect love exists. If there is fear, it produces a state that does not exist. Believe this, and you will be free. Only God can establish this solution, and this faith is his gift. Okay, there's our underpinnings from the text. Our lesson of the day, I have invented the world I see. And then we can go all the way back to chapter 1. And we go back to section 6, the illusion of needs. And the whole section describes the belief in lack, the belief in needs, and the ordering or the making of a hierarchy of needs, which then generates the belief in levels of need. You know, people talk about your physical needs, your emotional needs, your mental needs. One need, God. One need, know thyself. One need, know thyself as a perfect creation of God. I am as God created me. Now, we love practicalities, so here we go. We're going to zoom in. There was a question that was written in recently from Anna in Argentina. And even though this came in several days ago, it works right now. We will still answer questions, even if I have not done something for a while. This question came in English and in Spanish from Argentina. And here's what Anna wrote. Thank you, David and team, for this great opportunity. Blessings to all. I have a partner with whom we share hours of work together, and we are also students at UCDM, the Course in Miracles in Spanish, and Curso de Milagros, which brings us together a lot. Lately, we have gone from laughing and sharing teaching, but we are also attracted to each other. We are physically and spiritually attracted to each other. We don't know how to focus on that attraction, and we give it to the Holy One. But we have a hard time discerning if it is a purpose that brings us together or it is our character through the ego that interferes. From the perspective of the right mind, I would like you to share your experience with us. Thank you very much. Well, beautiful, Anna. I'm glad you took the time to write that in. You know, from the perspective of the right mind, which is purely the Holy Spirit's perspective, then all of the images are seen as equally unreal. There is no order of difficulty in miracles. There is no hierarchy of illusions. And you might say that love attracts love. So the perspective of the Holy Spirit, which is the reflection of God's love, is the awareness that love is one, love is unified, that there is no love but God's. God is the creator, and even in terms of perception, this right mind is the perspective of forgiveness, and it just simply sees the false as false. So from this perspective, bodies are not attracted to other bodies, and persons are not attracted to anything of form, not flowers, not chocolate, not a sunny day, a walk in the park on a sunny day. There are no attractions or repulsions in forgiveness. And the section I just read to you today basically was section 6 from chapter 1. And then if you go on and read the next section, it's distortions of miracle impulses. So all attractions and repulsions are part of the wrong mind. So when you say we are spiritually and physically attracted, then Jesus is teaching in his course over and over, that which is born of the flesh is flesh, that which is born of the spirit is spirit. That you are a mind, holy mind, purely mind, and when you have a body as part of your self-concept, then you lose awareness of your divine mind. completely. It's an amnesia. You push it out. And Jesus, they know what the ego belief system is. And so the Holy Spirit, they know what is believed in, and the Holy Spirit uses what is believed in to help unwind the mind from the belief in the ego, and thus the belief in everything of the projected world. So the Holy Spirit knows that the world's an invention, but the Holy Spirit uses the symbols of the invention to unwind the mind's attachment to the ego. As he said to us just a moment ago, Jesus said, to heal this world is to heal your unbelief. And while the mind is sleeping and dreaming and believing in the ego, then the purpose of everything in the world is to unlearn the ego, undo the guilt, undo the shame. It's to undo the belief in separation. So the Holy Spirit will use attractions and the Holy Spirit will use repulsions as part of a forgiveness curriculum. In other words, as part of coming back into your mind and transcending the attractions and the repulsions. This is so common that in this world, it's very, very common for a person to be attracted to another person. So in the case with you, Anna, and your partner, Course in Miracles students, studying the book, practicing the lessons, on the path of Un Curso de Milagros, on the path, and then attractions arise. Underneath everything, it's the attraction of love for itself. It's know thyself. That's the purpose of all relationships. And yet, in terms of interpersonal relationships with the attractions, we also notice there are repulsions. There are things that you're grateful are there, and then there are things that you wish you weren't there. I really love my partner, and there's some things that I wish weren't part of my partner. I wish were gone. Be gone. Be gone, repulsive things. Come, attractive things. Be gone, repulsive things. And this is the human condition. This is the conundrum of the human condition is attraction and repulsion. So if you read on to that next section in chapter 1, number 7, Jesus will talk about distortions of miracle impulses, and basically it's like, you might say the light coming from above into consciousness is calling the mind home, saying, wake up and remember the light. And yet that miracle impulse, that beam of light that comes through the filter of the ego, it turns into attractions and repulsions. It's a great plan because it brings about forgiveness. Anything that you're attracted to in your partner. So let's say, Anna, you have attractions to your partner. You're both Course in Miracles students. You're practicing together, and anything that you notice that involves attraction and repulsion is part of the letting go. It's part of bringing the darkness to the light, letting the unconscious beliefs come to awareness. So in this world, it seems to be like the formula is you go along, you live your life in form, so to speak, and then boom, you come and you find an attraction. If it's a strong attraction, sometimes people say, okay, let's get into a relationship, let's get married, let's form a partnership or a family or so on and so forth. And then you go forth, and the people would say, well, it's the part of that plan, worldly plan, is to meet somebody, be attracted to them, and then to fall in love. Well, the love is the love of God. What the mind is really searching for is God. What the mind is searching for in the sleeping state of this world of time space is to remember God, to come to the present moment, and then that's the gateway to eternity, to come fully present and release the past, release the future. So what is called falling in love is really just an opportunity to let your calling on the darkness to come up and say, okay, unconscious darkness, whatever is there, holly ollie income free, come on up. I'm going to allow you to be exposed, allow you to be brought up for the Holy Spirit, Jesus. Up you come, darkness, to the light, and then I'll release you to the light and be free of you forever. And remember that I am the light. So it's really, falling in love is kind of like falling in forgiveness, falling into love, falling into forgiveness. Falling into love is like falling into the process or the speed up of realizing that the world's an invention. Isn't that amazing how it all ties together? I have invented the world I see. And then the section 6 we read, the illusion of needs, all the needs, physical needs, food, sleep, sexuality, all the baseline needs that Maslow talked about, all of those are a part of the invention. And yet, as I give way and say, okay, if I have attractions, Holy Spirit, use them. Teach me the truth. Take me to the truth. Take me to the oneness. Take me to the divine love. Take me to God. And if I have repulsions, then use those too. As we move through time and space, seemingly, we have a lot of experiences that come to us, and we're just starting to pay attention to anything. Attractions, I have invented these attractions in form. Repulsions, I invented the repulsions too. I have invented the world I see in its entirety. The world, the perceptual world of time and space, of linear time, is not a creation of God. My meaningless thoughts are showing me a meaningless world. And God did not create a meaningless world. So you start to get into this divine metaphysics, divine logic, and don't be concerned if you have romantic attractions, because, ultimately the attraction of love for love, of divine love for divine love, to know thyself, to know God, that is destiny. You are destined to remember the truth. You are destined to know God, destined to know thyself. There's nothing that can stop it. It's unstoppable love. And the way we yield into that is we allow the Holy Spirit and Jesus to use our attractions to teach us what we truly want. We want the peace of God. We want the divinity of love. What's in this world, it may go for love. People put that on their car bumper stickers, I love this sports team, or I love this person, or this country, or whatever, this rock star, or this pop singer. Yeah, love, 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 love. It's really attraction, 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 attraction. And then beyond all of the made up, invented attractions is the attraction of love for love, of divinity, to know thyself. So thank you, Anna, for your question. We send you all of our blessings from everyone here, myself and the whole team. And I think probably I'll be back tomorrow with the team, and we'll just carry this on. And then we have a whole series we have an online retreat coming up this weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We have a Spanish ministry. It's starting to launch a whole set of episodes and shows the following Monday. And so the beat goes on. We're shifting into high gear here, seemingly in February, even though it's in our hearts and minds where we're shifting. We're in God mode. Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you so much, Anna. Thank you, everyone, for watching. I send all my love and have a blessed day. Yes.